All right, well, now we're here at the Paradox. In 1991, when we were evicted from Club Fantasy, my partner and I, Greg Scroggins, went on a search for a new location. We initially tried downtown Baltimore, one of the vacant theaters down there, but we went to the Baltimore Development Corporation to inquire about downtown properties, and when we said we were interested in that, they said, no, you'll get a lot of resistance if you try to locate in downtown Baltimore, because I think at that time they had plans to rejuvenate it. Anyhow, they suggested that we look down in the area where Hammerjacks was, which was down in Camden Yards. And when we came down here, I found this vacant warehouse, and luckily my landlord was open to the idea of what I wanted to do here. We did open in the November of 91, and the Paradox went from 91 to 2017, which was 26 years. That was the longest run. I think it's the longest run of any black-owned club in the city. I mean, it outlived the clubs in New York like Paradise Garage and Studio 54. Then we had a guest DJ, Louis Vega, that came in here, and he said, I have somebody that I think you can help you with your sound here. And he introduced me to Dave Soto, who was the man behind our legendary sound system. We started out with Friday and Saturday nights, because we were an after hours. And then we eventually picked up a Thursday night, which was became Fever, the EDM crowd. They used to call it rave back then. And when rave first came out, it got a lot of resistance because of the reputation of it being like a lot of drug usage and stuff like that. And then they had Sunday Mass that was spun off from the Fever. They would do that on a Sunday afternoon. And that was for all the ravers that hung out all night and still wasn't ready to go to sleep. Well, we got raided on one of those parties, and they came in and shut us down, and I had to sign a letter saying we would do no more rave parties in here. So that was all try to stop the rave scene here in Baltimore. But gradually, it became not a rave, it became EDM, and, we were able to start, catering to some of those parties. On Friday night was what had transferred from Fantasy, was the urban R&B, and that's when hip hop was starting to become very prevalent in the scene. So that was that night, and we called it our college night here. It started out with Sean Caesar, who was my DJ at Fantasy. He gave it up to Rod Braxton, and then Rod Braxton turned it over to DJ Big L. Miss Tony was the MC on Friday nights. She went from DJ to DJ, and at that time he had just worked with Frank Ski. They did a song, "Get Your Guns Out." That was his big hit, and he became a local, personality. Actually evolved into doing a spot on the local radios as a host with that. Saturday nights was, again, our house music crowd, and started out with Michael Joyner, and then Jerome Hicks took the reins for the Saturday party. Saturday was the main night. That was the biggest night when we first came here, but as hip-hop became more prevalent, then the Friday night crowd became our biggest crowd, and the house music scene had started to dwindle. So then we had a Sunday night party that was geared to the teen crowds, and as a result of that, Frank Skew, who was, a radio personality here, he brought in some international acts, Redman, Wu-Tang Clan, right, who, as I mentioned, got in a fight with the security. The Paradox kind of became another platform that continued over from fantasy for a lot of creators. It would be the platform for where they would try out their new music that they just had. If it was a hit in the docks, which we became to be known as the docks, then it was a go. So Baltimore club scene, their music, the producers, which got a international notoriety from the people over in Europe, got some of that, and they were like all on it for a minute. And we had Kay Swift, who was very known here. She played here on a regular basis. It's hard, for like in a 26-year period to sum up what went on in this building. It became a cultural down here, and when we announced our closing in 2016, we got a lot of outcry, a lot of articles about the club and how it contributes to the scene. One article, the writer said that once Paradox closed, it would be the first time in, I think then, like 42 or 43 years that Wayne Davis hasn't been providing entertainment for Baltimore City. And that was like, wow, I never thought of that.